BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, and welcome back to another one of my quick video reviews. This time I'm looking at Mothergunship on the Xbox One by Grip Digital and Terrible Posture Games. Now, Grip Digital are a mid-level developer publisher, but Terrible Posture Games made Tower of Guns, a kind of tongue-in-cheek, roguelike shooter with a cartoony art style. And you can definitely see the influence of that here on Mothergunship. And this, of course, while the visuals are much sharper and better looking, obviously working together with Grip Digital, there's more resources at play here. That inspiration of the over-the-top action is definitely present. Now, what we've got with Mothergunship is kind of like a three-pronged genre mashup. We have first-person shooter, bullet hell shooter, and then some really heavy kind of crafting mechanics all brought together into this rather kinetic experience. And basically the concept is you are a sort of forced into action as a Space Marine type character, and you have to defend the Earth from an alien armada by going through these sort of randomly generated levels with lots and lots and lots of different types of guns. Now, the big sort of gameplay aspect here is that while it's a first-person shooter, it does have heavy bullet hell moments with vast amounts of projectiles on screen at once coming down at you from every single direction while you're trying to rapidly progress through levels and trying to minimize the amount of damage you take. And then in addition to all of that, you have this crazy customizable arsenal. You have these massive, ginormous boss fights. It's a completely mad experience. You've even got this sort of comedic, very knowing, tongue-in-cheek, firmly tongue-in-cheek storyline, which riffs heavily on the sort of sci-fi Space Marine stereotypes that you've no doubt seen before in many other first-person shooters. This game doesn't take itself seriously, and I think that's definitely a positive. You have a mission select screen, you have this vast campaign of options about where you can go and where you can fight. There is really a lot going on, and one of the most unique aspects, beyond just the idea of mashing up the first person shooter with the bullet hell shooter, is this crafting mechanic. So in Mothergunship, you can make these weapons using a fairly simple part system, sort of module based. Then there's like connectors, and then there's the barrels. And Borderlands, of course, famously said how many millions of gun combinations it can have. However, they were like randomly generated. In this, you are creating these mad, crazy weapon systems. So everything from rocket launchers to plasma guns to machine guns to pulse rifles to more outlandish things like huge cannons, you name it. This thing is full of just crazy, crazy weapons. And you're constantly discovering new combinations and new ways of putting them together and unlocking stuff. Because it's a roguelike system, you're going through these maps, you're going through these worlds, you're picking up currency, you're picking up parts, you're finding shops to buy stuff from, which will then be added to your part pool. At the beginning of the missions that you can go into, you can choose a limited amount of parts to take with you to immediately be able to construct maybe your favorite weapon or favorite basic loadout, which will then give you a starting point to build upon as you go throughout the mission. So there's lots going on in this game. So beyond just the kinetic, crazy, over-the-top combat with the bullet hell sort of style and the sort of funny storyline that's playing through, you've got this crafting mechanic, this crafting system, which adds a nice level of depth. Unlike just a normal roguelike game or a dungeon crawler, the other shooters that I've played in the past, which is just giving you weapon drops, you're getting these parts so you can really create these mad combinations and just experiment. It's a lot of fun to try putting things together that you wouldn't normally. I've mentioned lots of conventional weapons, but there's all kinds of weirder stuff like blades and energy pulses and all kinds of things that can all combine together in addition to these sort of special effects you can get from the modules, which can increase damage but then of course reduce mobility. So there's a lot of things going on at play here. Now, I've played this game on the X and the S, and on both it does suffer, as you may have seen in the video actually, it does have frame rate issues. Now, I'm playing this game pre-release, and I'm sure it's going to be patched and supported post-release. The S is definitely framier, dropping frames much more consistently than the X did. However, that didn't really detract from the fun I was having. I mean, the combat is so over the top and kinetic that you're not trying to be super accurate. You're just trying to put as much lead down range as possible while avoiding as much incoming damage as possible, though you're never going to avoid all of it. You have multiple, the game knows how important mobility is, you have multiple double jump systems, triple jump, quadruple jump, 5 times jump, 6 times jump, so you can be flying all over the place as you jump around using basically like a jetpack more like, to actually avoid incoming damage. You know, there's boost pads and everything going on in this. So, yeah, no level is the same. No ship that you go on is the same. No combination of weapons will be the same unless you particularly want to favour a certain type. I had a great time with Mothergunship. It feels unique. It feels like it's doing enough different in the roguelike shooter genre to really set itself apart. I really like the crafting mechanics, and I'm excited to keep delving in there and keep doing runs until I find more and more and more crazy stuff. You know, it's really good fun. They're going to be bringing in co-op as a post thing in around August. That'll be great to see how well that works. I think this game in co-op will be loads of fun. But right now, even as it is, the package here is very compelling, a really good time. I highly recommend Mothergunship. Check it out. 4 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.